Good morning.
Jamming today.
We are jamming today. Let's first of all say, yes, good morning, Lou. We are home. We're a little bit delayed.
Bueller.
We were having I feel like we were almost having a little bit of like a huddle. Listen, we were just getting in the right headspace.
Getting our mind right, getting pumped. I was playing a little DMX in the back, a little Ludacris to get us ready.
I requested Ludacris. So in case you guys didn't know.
Viewers, and you want to get pumped up for something, whether it's a gym, sporting event, or getting your mind right, what artists are you listening to? We were getting a little TRL throwback, I think, that's what affected us growing up, I think.
Yes. You know what I was listening to actually before I even hopped on? DJ
Turk. That's right. That's my brother. Yeah.
I was actually listening to Fine Young Cannibals. She Drives Me Crazy. That also came on in a class I was in yesterday. I was like, ooh, I haven't heard this in so long.
There's a lot of good things out there.
I go through phases. I go through decades. Like that's the thing. Like I'll be in the 60s for a minute, then I'm in the 70s and the 80s.
Old soul.
Yeah. Yeah, but then there's a little bit of thug life that comes out too, which not everybody knows. You know though.
It's Atlanta. Come out.
Atlanta, that dirty South.
Well, on a different note, any trips coming up?
I'm actually going to be in New York in a couple of weeks. This has been this time of year is normally a time where I actually encourage myself to stay home. I've been working on some things. You know, when you are traveling all the time, it's hard. You've got to stay home for a bit, and you've got to make sure the back end of the business is working right, fix things that maybe could be working better. So I've been home focused on that, but I'm excited. I'll be in New York for like 10 days or so. So I'll be on the East Coast for a minute. Back. Nice. So yeah, and then Boston towards the end of August with our friends over at Triple Seat. So yeah, I'll be at their conference with Danny Meyer, who I have actually not yet met in person. So I'm excited to
you're interviewing him.
No.
Okay. I thought you were interviewing him.
No. We're both keynoting, so to speak, in a sense. So I'll be doing like the first day, and then he's the second day. So, yeah.
That's very cool.
That is very cool. What about you? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Last minute, got invited to an event in St. John and St. Martin, so I'm going to head down there this weekend. So if anyone has any tips or favorite places, let me know in the comments here. It's my first time there. Never been. I know Sarah gave me some tips. If anyone else has got some. Then doing a staycation. Give a shout out to my dad, Bob Turk. His birthday coming up next weekend. So we're going to do a little staycation here on South Beach at the Marriott Stanton.
Okay.
Michael Million's he's the GM there. Great GM of that hotel. And then I have one other trip, which I can't announce yet, but another trip coming up. So back to back. Oh my gosh.
Oh my.
A lot going on. That's what we do in the world of hospitality. We're always studying and learning and traveling, which is always great.
Keep that suitcase packed.
Listen, I learned from one of the best influencers in the game, Sarah Rafat.
No. Oh my God. Actually, that would be interesting. I feel like probably in the past year, 6 months or so, there have been some really interesting travel influencers that have really kind of taken off in the space. So would love to hear from you guys. And I would say not necessarily because I don't see their content on LinkedIn, but I see their content on Instagram as well as TikTok. There's this one girl, I'm going to just do a shout out. She doesn't know me. But Alex Travels, and she really blew up because she was on the Four Seasons yacht and was one of the, yes. She does great stuff, but it's cool seeing new people pop up that just share different perspectives. She's been doing a fantastic job. Actually, she came up in conversation because I actually had coffee this weekend with Captain Kate McHugh. And so for those that don't know, Captain Kate she was very well known captain on Celebrity Cruises, and then she went over to Four Seasons. So she and I
Kate
were
going out on Icon of the Seas. Is that what it said?
Ooh,
all right, you're
yeah.
You're You're going to enjoy it. But you got to get in the mindset. If it's your first cruise, is that what it says? Our first family cruise.
Okay.
Great. For families, amazing. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to drive anywhere. Just be in that mindset. It's going to be busy. You're going in the busiest time in the summer when it's the last weekend before really everyone gets back to school.
Totally.
But enjoy it. A lot of great times there. Get to the pool deck a little early, and you can secure your pool deck chair out there. I like to get breakfast from the Windjammer. Okay, here's a secret, Kate. Get breakfast at the Windjammer. Bring it out to your pool deck chair so that you're out there before all the crazy crowds get there, and you've got your VIP spot. So take it from Steve Turk, professional cruiser. That's my move. Anyhow, look at us catching up on coffee talk here.
I know. But wait, plant the seed. Maybe we should have Captain Kate on here at one point.
I'm down.
She's good people. Anyway.
And Captain Ron.
Anyway. All right, fine. Should we? Oh, am I supposed to lead this into the next part?
Sure. Or listen, before we jump in there, okay?
Yes.
Before we get started, very important. This episode is brought to you by StayFi. StayFi helps short-term rental operators build direct guest relationships through branded Wi-Fi portals, email marketing, and you know what? My favorite, guest data tools that turn one-time bookers into repeat guests. So start growing your direct booking revenue today at stayfi.com/Good Morning Hospitality and at stayfi.com/Good Morning Hospitality. Now we can start here, Sarah.
Now, thank you. My goodness, about time, sir. Well, why don't we get into our first topic here? Enough coffee talk. Airbnb's best hotel strategy is sitting in Ennismore's IPO filing. So this was interesting. This was a kind of a thought leadership piece here by Rafat. And so to kind of get people up to speed, Ennismore is heading towards a U.S. IPO, and Skift and Rafat was basically arguing that what's interesting is that there's going to be this $2 billion gap between the floor and the ceiling, so to speak, as far as what their valuation is. And so the question is, beyond Accor, which Ennismore is obviously affiliated with, is where's the demand coming from next? And so he was kind of arguing that there could be an interesting partnership between Ennismore as well as Airbnb, and that could enhance the demand story for Ennismore, but then also for Airbnb. It would kind of help with there's sort of like the brand stability, like that brand recognition, and those certain key elements that really make like a hotel brand what we know to be. Whereas where Airbnb, it's a little bit of the Wild West, because there isn't necessarily brand standards that go across the board. So, want to hear your thoughts on this.
Listen, I think it's really interesting thought piece that he's created here, and I think his thinking really does make sense, because Ennismore, when you hear Ennismore, you don't automatically think about which brands they have, but they do have some major brands under their flag, right? There's one that just opened here, which they're putting a lot into, is the Delano, just reopened here in Miami Beach. Good morning, Lonnie. And Lonnie, I got your email, by the way. I got it. Okay, we got it. We'll check it out. But the Delano is now also opening a residences as well in downtown Miami, as a branded residences. So they're putting a lot of money into that. But what he's saying here is like, all right, you got Ennismore, they're going public. There was a range of the $3.4 to $5.8 billion range of their IPO, they were saying. Bloomberg's estimating it to be at the very low end at like $3.2 billion. And why? It's because how are you going to compete against the big boys of Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt? You need that demand generator and loyal fans, which Airbnb does have. And what Airbnb has seen is that if you book a hotel through their platform, which they're doing more and more now, they also own Hotel Tonight, you're getting an offer to book one of their homes. And they're seeing that at 55%. They're seeing people book those homes after trying a hotel on their platform. So what he is arguing and saying is that they should be working together, because Airbnb has loyal fans. They don't have any point system here just yet. Ennismore can create that place where they have access to hotels, and they can help each other with lower OTA fees and really driving traffic. So if someone books an Ennismore hotel on Airbnb, Airbnb can then, promote what they have in homes, which always gets booked at 55% is their standard right now, and it continues to grow that way. So I do see it being something interesting. And the other, which I don't know if you noticed, is that Airbnb bought their first property ever. Did you see where they bought it?
Oh, yes, I did. Where was that again?
New York City, where Airbnb
Oh, yeah, that's
is
right.
not legal, right? So the only legal Airbnb in all of New York City is their brand new office, which leads me to believe that they're planting a flag there. They're going to have a hotel there at some point. They're working on something bigger if they're
Interesting.
putting their offices there. It's the only property they own. They lease everything else, including their home office over in California. So something big is kind of bubbling up. But, we've talked about this a lot. It's, people go for points. They go for having their rewards. Airbnb doesn't have that right now. I actually saw one of your comments, Sarah, on Threads saying, Airbnb doesn't have that. Showed up on my feed today. But we do have a lot of people that are ultra loyal. Like we run a hospitality management company, and we do it for homes, which are kind of nondescript homes, and we rely on the booking channels. And 65% still comes from Airbnb, even though we're listed on 30 other channels. The majority of them come through there. Then we try to make them our loyal guests, which we do with a lot of people, but we still see that Airbnb is a powerhouse in the space. So people are ultra loyal to it, and they feel safe because, if something does go wrong, they do tend to lean on the side of the guests a lot to try to help the guest on Airbnb. So it does have some diehards that use it all the time.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, there's absolutely diehard. I mean, there's a reason why it is a successful business, but yeah, I mean, I think that this would, it's an interesting proposition that he put out there. I'd be curious if it would end up happening. I mean, it's nice that he, you know what I mean? Like that Rafat is like floating that idea, but it's like others would obviously have to like get on board with it. I mean,
yeah, both have to get on board. Both owners of each company are very standout and want to control the whole guest experience and what their guests are going to be experiencing, their customers going to experience. So, like if I'm Airbnb, I don't know if that's for me. I'd rather go out and start buying my own hotels and creating my own experiences and putting them through the platform where everyone's eyeballs are at, and then cross-promoting the homes and the hotels to the people already on there, which is, hundreds and hundreds of millions of people using it.
Well, and arguably sounds like that may be what they might be exploring doing.
I think so. I'm pretty confident. Like if I was in their shoes, that's what I would do.
Yeah, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. So yeah, interesting piece. I love that Rafat put this out there. Again, whether it does happen, I love that it just is even out there as an idea for others to maybe look at and learn from. So yeah, we'll see.
Let's see what happens, but we'll be watching. I'll be watching very closely. I know they've been talking about hotels for a long time, and let's see what they can make happen. And Ennismore, we'll keep an eye out on your IPO. Let's see how you do.
We will. All right. Why don't you go into the second sponsor before we go to our next one?
Oh, my favorite one here, everybody. Yeah. Listen, of course, before we move on, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Bilt. They're helping restaurants and hotel F&B teams better understand their guests and create more personalized experiences that drive repeated visits. So if you care about loyalty and guest experience, it's worth checking out. Head to joinbilt.com/GMH, and it's joinbilt, BILT, .com/GMH. Check them out.
Wonderful. Oh my God.
On that one.
You're so good. You are so good. Well, continuing on here, let's go on to our next topic.
This is big. This one's big.
Yeah. Accor and H World are linking 430 million loyalty members. So this is kind of so basically Accor and China's H World, they're planning to link their 19,000 hotels. So they're not just linking basically their loyalty programs, but they're also linking distribution, which is why this makes it such an exciting and big story. So the partnership is basically going to be opening up booking platforms across China, Europe, and the Middle East for ultimately a combined of 430 million members. And it's and the more than 19,000 hotels, but it's going to be starting with around 240 hotels and select benefits. So, yeah, this is a very interesting piece. I know you're excited. So why don't you?
The thing to me is that, the first time I heard of H World was just a couple of weeks ago when we had talked about them in an article. And H World is I'm going to just read you some stats here. So I think it's important people understand because, you hit the core, like they're the big player in this. It's the other way around. H World has 310 million H Rewards members and 13,000 hotels. It has more loyalty members per available room than Marriott or Hilton honors. But it lacks the brand that people know outside of where they're currently at. So this is where Accor comes in to help get it more European customers, more American customers, kind of eyeballs on their H World. But when you start hearing that, it's just gigantic numbers that you now have all these data points on. And what helps is that it's going to be a part of the economics here. When you're booking through an OTA, you're paying usually 10 or 15% of that number to the OTA. And now they're going to be booking within each other. And hopefully they can get that down in that 4 to 5%. Where they're going to be paying each other for helping refer customers. But that's a 10% savings that goes straight to the bottom line. Plus, you're getting more eyeballs, which is hopefully more traffic and booking on your website. So really interesting to see this partnership as it starts to grow, really helping each other. This is one of those, I think, win-wins on both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Accor has that brand name over here and in Europe, and H World does not. And now H World will get some more eyes as well. So, goes back
well, and then also, I mean, like for Accor, the outbound Chinese travel market is huge. So, I mean, the influx from that alone is going to be impactful. So, yeah, this is definitely interesting partnership that's happening out there in the space. And I'm
curious, how many of you know H World out there? We're gonna have to look them up. I got to do some more research on them. I'd be really curious to see. How many of you currently know them? Have you ever stayed at H World? Any of you? I'd love to know.
I have not.
But neither have I. I haven't really spent much time in China ever. So, I haven't been exposed to them. I need to get over there at some point. But it really just shows, I think we're going to see more and more of these partnerships, right? That's kind of what Rafat was saying in his idea with Airbnb and Ennismore. I think there's places for people to do that, especially people like we talked about, was it 2 weeks ago, where people were leaving their Marriott contracts and their Wyndham contracts trying to go on their own and figure these things out. I think there's going to be a platform that really helps. I don't know where it will come from. There's a couple of players in the industry trying to get it up and running where you can earn points if you're a boutique hotel and you join their platform and start getting some more eyes. But these are big deals. 430 million people is gigantic. So they're going to have a lot of eyeballs on their products.
Yeah. And I also think it's kind of interesting is that we'll see where travelers are moving and traveling to, you know what I mean? Just because obviously if you would have been having this discussion in January, it would have been the travel world and where travelers were choosing to go to was very different than the landscape today because of the Iran war and everything that is happening in the Middle East. And so, this is a interesting shift because I'd be curious actually if this was even like in talks in January versus now, because I mean, it's almost kind of like circumventing parts of the Middle East and creating a different like part, not to say that there isn't a core in the Middle East, but obviously they're very huge in Europe as well as, but I mean, I'd say basically they're really huge in Europe. I mean, they're big in the US, but not as big as they are in Europe. So I don't know. It's interesting to see that sort of partnership because I don't know that would have been happening.
I think it's the power of the OTAs, right? So how do we compete against OTAs? Let's team up, right? I'd rather team up with my competition than pay out the OTAs. Let's figure out how to get those prices down. So let's see what happens. And with AI, keep pushing. Let's see where AI starts leaning. I'm hoping they don't make the deals with the OTAs and just do individual deals with hotels. But let's see.
We will see. All right, let's talk about World Cup. Because we still can. We still got 4 more days to talk about it.
Amazing.
The final this coming Sunday. I'm now getting a little bit of FOMO, but that would just be ridiculous because I haven't watched a single game.
I'm just annoyed they're putting the games at 3:00 on a Tuesday and another 3:00 game, I think, today. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, let's at least push it back a little bit so we can all watch.
Oh, yeah, but like they've got to deal with all the different time zones.
Oh, I know. But we're hosting it here. But what are they saying out there in the world? What are they saying, Sarah, about this?
So yeah, no World Cup bump. U.S. tourism was down in June. So basically, now that they're kind of like looking at the numbers for June, tourism was down 1.8% year over year in June to 2.8 million, following a 33.4% annual decline in June of 2025. So, I mean, basically what it's saying is that as much as we were expecting there to be a World Cup bump, so to speak, we haven't really gotten that. Now, even though you've got hotels that are, they've been in some markets have been doing okay because they're able to put their rooms at a higher rate. At the end of the day, we still just haven't seen the whole like economic bump that I think everybody was hoping for. To me, not a surprise, but I mean,
yeah. Look, I talked to a lot of hotels because we're one of the host cities here in Miami. Last year, everyone really inflated their budgets. Oh, we're going to crush it. It's going to get these numbers. It's going to be, they were trying to say, it's like, looking at a Super Bowl, when you host a Super Bowl in the city, it really does have a lot of people come for that weekend. And they're trying to, how do we use those numbers to really pump it up and expand it for a month every single week, which you can't really do. So a lot of hotels really pumped up their numbers, didn't achieve those numbers, but they are still way higher than they were, the previous June. And I think I'm a good example of our little hospitality management company. We're 35% ahead of where we were last year in June, which is usually like a slowish month here in South Florida. And we crushed it. So, and it was all because of World Cup. Like there is no other demand generator at that time. And we had people staying with us, and maybe they're not going to the games, but they want to be in the city and see the action. Like when Scotland was here, oh my gosh, it was nuts. I love the Scotland events. I want to make sure they get more and more. But for us, it was really interesting to see that push. But again, it wasn't the home run record-breaking numbers. We talked about that with the Olympics once a couple of years ago. Like it seems like that's more and more the case where you have so much access to all different kinds of entertainment. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on TV. There's watch parties places. You may not need to travel and spend $2,500 for the worst tickets in the stadium a piece. There's a lot of friends that went because there were empty seats from sponsors that paid for all these seats and they got to go. But if you're a regular old Joe and you couldn't get that first round of tickets, it's an expensive trip to fly to Miami, get a hotel room at elevated rates, also get those tickets, plus all the restaurants were trying to do the same.
That actually reminds me, I remember I was just seeing a reel on Instagram where they were, it might have been Miami. I think they were actually in Miami, and they were asking people how much they were spending. They're like, oh, like how much have you spent on attending the World Cup this year? And it was a lot of people, and they were like, $50K, $100K, $250K. And it's, that's great, but that's also not a budget that everybody has. And so, I think it's interesting. I mean, we're going to be going into the Olympics happening in Los Angeles in 2028. And I hope that they learn a bit from this. And because, by the way, not every market was the same. I feel like Miami did better than other markets.
Because we're the best city in the country. So everyone comes.
Okay, calm down. But I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not a will travel for sports demographic, so I am not the key demographic. But I just feel like just understand it, like making things more.
I think there's some big ones, like Super Bowl is ultra expensive, F1 ultra expensive to go to, World Cup ultra expensive.
Yeah, but that's like the final. Like once you're talking about the final is one thing, but like,
well, they will say what it will say is the argument is like, I talked to one of my buddies. I was like, how'd you get in there? He's like, well, we didn't know what game was going to be. We just got lucky that our team got picked in that role, but we put it was $300 or $350 when they first announced those tickets. So that would be the argument the other way, because I was arguing like that, and they said, well, we got it for $300 and we went to the game at nice seats. So, but the flipping is what everybody. Yeah, you're right. Let's see what happens. I'm all about it. I love it. I'm really hoping that, I know it happens every 4 years and we get this love of soccer in our country, or football. And I would like to see it continue. I'm going to go try to see Messi now, because I haven't seen him yet play for Miami, now that they have their new stadium in Miami proper. So I think that will continue to help. And listen, let's see what happens. But it is expensive to travel, and we keep talking about it. If you're ultra wealthy, you're traveling, and if it's the other part of the barbell or the dumbbell where it's long-term stays and looking for deals, that's really not the people who go into those events. So that mid-tier, mid-class is not traveling as much.
So I have been on finals watch, and it's interesting because ended up getting
How much are the tickets? I know you have to buy. How much did you get tickets for?
25,000 a piece. And they're okay. And I just looked yesterday and I'm like, ooh, I could have gotten something like in the same area for like 19,000 a piece, which is bananas when you kind of like think about it. Which can also change like in the next 2 days will probably change.
Well, we got Spain. Spain's locked in. Now we see Argentina or England, and both are powerhouses. So either way, I think it's going to be a sold out World Cup event with a lot of fired up people. So I think you got a good deal. Good deal. 25 a ticket.
25K a ticket. Yep. That's exciting.
Not too shabby. All right, World Cup. Keep it going. We have a couple more days to cheer on our countries here.
Totally. Well, okay, wait, given the time here, should we hop into, do you want to do this last topic?
Yeah, we can touch on it.
We want cool. You do the obscure Marriott. Okay, our obscure Marriott fee. Okay, well, cool. Then I should let you take the lead on it. This obscure Marriott fee will be a key signal for profit strength. So
we're really going to know how hotel owners are doing, because a lot of the time what gets reported is the RevPAR, how much revenue is generated, all these top line numbers, and that's where Marriott and Hilton and Hyatt, that's where they make a lot of their fees, right? Because they make off the top. But they also get these bonuses that, these are publicly traded companies that we can see. They get a bonus when they perform on the bottom line. So after all the expenses are taken out and we truly see how the hotel owner makes money, then those also get paid out a bonus if they hit certain metrics. So it's going to be interesting to see now how they do. And I can read a couple stats here, because if you're a numbers nerd like me, we like to see it. So in the first quarter, 2026, Marriott's incentive fees rose 9% to $222 million, led by a 13% jump in the US and Canada. Hilton was up 6%. Hyatt was up 14%, though some of those are inorganic from acquiring management contracts, like the 15 Playa hotels we actually reported on here as well. So all three posted record or near record profits, and that was off their top. But now we're going to see how they do at the bottom line, and that will really tell how the travelers are doing. And so we're really excited to see how this comes out, because everyone knows in operations, if you're in operations and you watch this and we review our P&L, and we look at all of our expense lines, it's how much do we actually bring to the bottom line. That's where the real money is made. And hotel owners have to shoulder a lot of that cost of labor and insurance and electricity and water and all the supplies and all that fun stuff, while the big brands that they work with take off the top. Now we're going to see what they actually make at the bottom. So the reporting will come out here in a couple of days, it says. So we'll be eyeing those closely. I'm going to keep an eye on those, because I think that will tell more of the story now too, is do boutique brands continue to go away from, or little hotel or smaller hotels keep going away from the Marriott, Hiltons, the Hyatts, because hey, you're making all the money and we're not making anything at the bottom down here. Right? So that's where I think we'll start to see a little bit more noise and revolting against the brands if they don't deliver on that bottom line. So let's see.
It all depends on that brand recognition. So if it makes sense in the long run. So love that. Okay. Thank you for doing that deep dive for us. I appreciate it.
I just want to see how it goes, because now we'll really see. Everyone likes to report the big numbers at the top, but what did you actually bring down and take home?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think we should move on here to your favorite part.
Whose brand is it anyway? Brought to you by no one yet. If you'd like to sponsor, let us know. But whose brand is it anyway? Do we have music?
Oh, we got some
music going.
Whoa.
Well, whose brand is it anyway is where we will show you a sub brand, and you'll have to guess who the parent brand is of that sub brand. So now we've got all of our fans here. Look at all of you. I see all of you in the comments right here, ready for action here.
Woo-hoo.
I know the only reason you tune in is not for me or Sarah. It's for whose brand is it anyway?
Definitely.
All right, Will. Show us, what is the sub-brand?
Ooh.
Registry Collection Hotels. Ooh, fancy. Registry Collection Hotels.
Interesting.
Right. It looks fancy. I'm going to go with H World. I'm going with H World today. Get your votes in. We've got 5 seconds. 5.
H World. Oh, that's
4,
smart.
3, 2,
I'll say
1.
Accor because of that.
Whose brand is it anyway, Will? Let's get that drum roll. And
Lou and I always say the same brands, by the way. Oh,
Oh my gosh, I was way off, but I like it. Wyndham going up brand, upscale feel here. Can we
okay.
get their website on the screen here, Will? I'd like to see what Select Registry looks like.
No, it's not Select Registry. That's
What
something
is it?
else.
Oh, Select Registry Hotel Collection. Sorry. We talked at the Select Registry
I
conference.
know. We just had a dad
Registry
talk.
Collection. Here it is. Very nice. Luxury
Okay.
without limits at the Registry Collection. Looks very
All
nice. Exceptional
right.
travel awaits. So we talked about how Wyndham was trying to go more upscale, and I can clearly see this is what
Yeah.
they're trying to do.
I mean,
It definitely has
luxury
that
without
more-
limits.
No limits. You can be
No
anywhere with Select Hotel Collection. Destinations. Let me see where we got. Oh, they got a good mix. A Fairmont in San Francisco, Margaritaville Vacation Club. A lot of Margaritavilles.
Oh,
And they got the Wyndham.
interesting.
All right, very cool. Trump International Hotel Las Vegas. They got a unique mix of properties they're starting to put into here. So, all right.
Yeah.
The Registry Collection. We learned something new today. Everybody lost. Well, Lonnie, I think maybe got his vote in late, but he got it right. Wyndham.
Did everybody lose, or are we all winners because we just learned something new?
Oh, look at you. The half full over here.
All right, whatever. Just me, I guess.
I'll take it. We all learned something new. I'll take it as a win today. Going out here on a high note.
This is
Well,
fascinating.
Sarah, listen, another great show by us. Okay, I'm going to toot our own horn here. Another great show.
Whoa! Why don't you just go ahead and pat
I
yourself
am.
on the shoulder?
I don't know if you watch any UFC fighting, but I watched it on Saturday. And this guy, Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Baddie, he won in like 10 seconds. And that's what he said. A great performance by me. So I like that mindset. We did a great job.
Oh, wow. We are all winners.
We're all winners. I'll take it from Mama
Yeah.
K over here. It's
There we
true.
go.
We are. And we got a nice reminder.
Totally.
But listen, if you like today's episode, make sure to share it with a friend. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe because we're always doing fun things here. And if you want to sponsor Whose Brand Is It Anyway, contact Will Slickers because he's taking numbers and we have a line waiting, I think, to sign up for this.
Wow.
But we really
somebody's
enjoy doing
caffeine
this
is
every
kicked in.
day. We got the caffeine drink ready to rock. That's all I got for today. So
Oh my gosh.
what should we say here?
What should we say?
Until next week,
Stay
stay
hospitable.
hospitable.